Welcome to Retcon Air, the Plotline Repair Podcast. Like the name suggests, this is a podcast that takes a look at the plot lines of movies, sitcoms, books, video games, and even Broadway shows. We will break down who wrote the story, how it was received by the community, and how it impacted us. But we'll also take a walk through the main moments of each story, and of course, wrap it up by adding what we might do differently if we had the chance to repair a piece of the plot line that, just doesn't quite jive with us. We know it's a hell of a lot of ground to cover. So in the show notes, you'll find a table of contents with time codes to serve as a guide for each episode of Retcon Air. Sure, we'll cover comments and criticisms and even offer our own ideas on ways that we could repair the plotline of each of these stories. But myself and the people that help make this show do so because we love these pieces of work and love getting the chance to talk about them. So, if that sounds good to you, stick around as we break down Jurassic Park.
Dinosaurs!
Yeah. So this week, it's me and Shelby again, recording here in the Mantic. Devin's kind of busy doing a couple things, so we just decided we're going to jump in and take care of this.
Yes, sir.
We really hope that this episode of Retcon Air truly finds you and yours in a safe place. So, Shelbs, thanks for hanging out with me. I mean, I know you're stuck in the house with me, but, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
You ready to talk about dinosaurs?
Oh, you bet your bottom dollar I am. What does that phrase even mean?
I have no idea. All right, so we're going to kick it off with the Amory, which is the whole, what we've been reading, what we've been playing, what we've been watching, etc. So, Shelbs, what are you into?
I've recently got back into a story that I started writing earlier in the year. I had to take a little break because I got too wrapped up in trying to come up with the perfect plot. But when I recently started writing again, it just kind of all started falling together, and that's really exciting. I've also just restarted my island on Animal Crossing. I hated the layout of my original island, and I literally just never played, so it's been really refreshing to start over knowing what I learned the first time through. What about you, though?
I can now officially say that I have every single trophy for Spider-Man on the PS4, including all the DLC packs, because I sat down and played all of those. I gotta tell you, my second playthrough of that story was just as good as the first. That game's amazing and worth the pickup. I finally finished the story for Red Dead Redemption 2. And now I'm kind of slowly working my way back into Horizon Zero Dawn, because I haven't touched that game in quite some time.
Forever. Yeah, I was surprised when I saw you playing it the other night.
Yeah. It took me a minute to get back into that and remember how to play it.
Yeah.
All right, so with that's covered, let's move on to the writer's room. Shelby, you want to tell us who wrote this thing?
I sure do. The movie was based on the 1990 novel written by Michael Crichton, as well as a screenplay written by Crichton and David Kopp. I'm really not sure how to pronounce that.
I like Kopp.
Kopp?
Kopp.
He was known for his work on Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 2002 Spider-Man, and Mission Impossible.
Ooh.
Before the novel was even published, there was a bidding war for the film rights. Spielberg ended up winning that war and even hired Crichton on to help adapt the novel for film, although Kopp wrote the final draft. The movie premiered on June 9th, 1993, and went on to gross over $914 million on its original run, and it received mainly positive reviews from the critics.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, just going to take us right into Deep Impact. So let's talk some of the reviews. Shelby, I'll go ahead and take the top positive.
Yep. And
you can take the top negative.
Yep.
All right. So top positive review comes to us from Peter Travers over here at the Rolling Stone. It just says, colossal entertainment, the eye-popping, mind-bending, kick-out, the jams thrill ride of the summer and probably the year.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, dude, it's Jurassic Park. It's dinosaurs. It's amazing. If you don't think so, you're wrong.
Truth. So the top negative review came from a woman, well, I'm assuming woman. That's probably not a fair assumption to make. Her name is Susie Twining, and she took the time to write this on Google Reviews. Quote, terrible movie. I was bored by the plot from the start, and there were too many male actors. The effects are the only decent thing. A bunch of emojis. I give it 1 stars. 1 stars, everyone. End quote. Okay, I've got a couple things to say about this one. Bored? If you're bored by this movie, the only reason I can see is that you don't like dinosaurs and you have no reason to watch this in the first place.
Truth.
Yes, there are some male actors, but Ellie and Lex were awesome in their own way. You know, they played their characters well, and don't you dare take that away from them. And also, the effects are the only decent thing. How about the soundtrack? The thrill of seeing dinosaurs and the thought of being in Sattler or Grant's places. But I guess Susie has a right to her own opinion, even if it's wrong.
I mean, the opening theme song, I guess, for that is one of the most recognizable songs out there.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't agree with anything this woman said at all.
Oh, we were talking about it earlier and how she said there were too many male actors. Brad brought up a really good point that all the dinosaurs were female, or at least started out as female. So, come at us, Susie.
And also, one other thing I wanted to bring up, too, like, okay, so yeah, predominantly male, I'll give you that.
Sure.
But, I mean, Sattler even, like, acknowledged that in the movie in such a beautiful way to just dismiss it. It was perfect. I loved it.
Absolutely.
All right, so from that, I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's safe to say you like the movie.
Yeah.
Right on.
I love it.
Samesies. It's such a good movie.
It is. It's the best. And it's so nostalgic, and it's just dinosaurs, man.
Right. And for me, same, obviously. Like, this movie will always hold a special place for me.
Sure.
So, all right, and with that, let's head on to There and Back Again. You want to read the synopsis?
I sure will.
Alrighty.
In Stephen Spielbegs' massive blockbuster, paleontologists Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler and mathematician Ian Malcolm are among a select group chosen to tour an island theme park populated by dinosaurs created from prehistoric DNA. While the park's mastermind, billionaire John Hammond, assures everyone that the facility is safe, they find out otherwise when various ferocious predators break free and go on the hunt.
Ferocious. All right, chapter 1. The movie starts in a jungle. A large animal transportation crate is being moved into an enclosure on Isla Nublar. When the gate is raised, the creature inside, which is clearly a dinosaur, we just don't know what kind, pushes the crate back and grabs a man who had fallen off the top of there. And we see a quote-unquote reptilian eye. That dude, I'm pretty sure, died. Mano de Dios. I don't know if I said that right. An amber mine is the next location. A man in a suit is being pulled ashore on this little makeshift raft. He's asking for Hammond, but mentions that the incident at the park with the man who fell off the cage there has caused some concern with the investors. He says that he's got Malcolm to come and, tour the park, but the investors want Grant. But the man he's speaking with laughs and says that's a long shot. He's given a chunk of amber with a little mosquito in it.
Just a little hint there.
Just a little mosquito.
So a scene change takes us to a dig site in Montana where Sattler and Grant, along with the team, are attempting to unearth a fossil. They use some awesome radar to see fossils in the earth, and we get to see Grant and Sattler discussing the bones that they see and really see how awesome they are at their jobs. Grant pulls one of my favorite moves and scares the crap out of a boy who was making fun of the velociraptor.
Yeah.
And then a chopper lands, blowing dirt all over the site that they were trying to unearth. I would be so mad.
Well, not to mention that, but it's damaging the fossils.
That's what I mean, man.
It's just, not only do we have to re-dig everything out, which is just rude in the first place, but now you're breaking the bones.
Breaking the bones. They're really fragile.
Who flies a helicopter into a dig site? No one.
InGen.
Yeah, InGen does do that. They're the worst. All right, so Hammond is here, and in an attempt to convince Grant and Sattler to come to the island to sign off on it, the two make a hot entry, but then quickly recover when they realize who Hammond is and that he's helped fund their digs. So, boss man's here, act cool. Hammond offers to fund their dig for the next 3 years if they agree to come and tour his island and give their approval. They'll sign off, which obviously they're like, yes, absolutely, please and thank you. Yes. Where do I sign?
Right.
Scene change to Costa Rica, where a conspicuous man with a briefcase sits for dinner with a large man in spectacles. I love that you use the word spectacles in this.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. It just kind of came out when I was writing.
It's perfect. The conspicuous man hands over a briefcase along with a shaving cream can and instructions to retrieve all 15 embryos.
Grant, Sattler, Malcolm, and the lawyer are on their way to the island with Hammond. The epic music picks up as they fly in. It's incredible. Thoughts?
So far, I love everything about the opening. From, the first scene showing how deadly that raptor in that cage is and how strong they are. Shove that entire crate. To Grant scaring that boy with the raptor claw. And then, accepting the offer to visit the park. It's just, everything so far has been perfect. So back to that negative review. If you're bored, it's your own fault.
Seriously, if you don't like dinosaurs, don't watch. But you know what? If you don't like dinosaurs, maybe watch, because you're going to end up loving them.
Truth.
So I feel the same way. Everything you just said, totally agree. So that helicopter flies in and lands as Grant struggles with his seatbelt. Now, I get the dude can't do technology, but his seatbelt?
Hey man, seatbelts are tricky. I do like that he finally just tied the ends together.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
They ride in some open-top Jeeps labeled with Jurassic Park, killer name, into that was a funny pun, into a massive gated enclosure. Hammond is very confident that the island will succeed, although the lawyer thinks otherwise. The Jeeps stop, and the doctors finally see what they could never have imagined: dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
The lawyer immediately changes his mind because he realizes how much money they could make with these dinosaurs. Hammond tells the doctors that he's got a T-Rex, which almost causes Grant to pass out, understandably. Hammond agrees to show the crew how he's brought these mammoths back to life.
He leads them into a sort of informational center, likely where guests would be brought upon their first entering the island.
I couldn't think of the name of this. I wrote it later in the thing, but for some reason I could not think of the name.
Was it like a visitor center or whatever
I think it's called the visitor center. Yeah. When I was writing the script, I was like, what?
I mean, I can't really say anything considering I didn't write any of the script and you handled all of it, so, you do what you gotta do. In a movie theater, they get a little bit more background knowledge about the cloning and what Hammond's done on the island, using blood from that little mosquito to clone the dinosaurs.
I love this movie that Hammond put together. It was very Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, for sure. The safety thing's lower, and the theater seats start turning on like a pedestal, and they start kind of spinning around. And they get to see the actual lab, the actual workers in the lab, because the lawyer just thought they were robots.
Yeah, that was funny.
Causing Grant and Sattler to jump off the ride as they just had to see the eggs that were in there, which, again, understandable.
Yep, same, dude.
I enjoyed the two of them, and then Malcolm basically just broke the safety restraint to get out. They get to watch an egg hatch, which is awesome, and it's even more awesome because this is not your modern-day Hatchimals situation. No. This is a velociraptor. Mm-hmm. A scientist steps in and says the dinosaurs cannot breed in the wild because they've been purposely engineered to all be female. Which
Susie.
Yes, Susie. Malcolm's skeptical and saying that, and I quote, life finds a way.
You even said it like him. That was beautiful.
I tried really hard.
Grant is not happy that they've bred raptors.
Understandable.
But the joy of the situation encourages him to continue with the tour anyways. He notices how the crew is feeding the dinosaurs, basically just lowering a cow into the enclosure rather than letting them hunt as they would have in the wild. The game warden, Muldoon, comes up and gives Grant some details on the dinosaurs. He seems to really know a lot about them. He explains that there is a big velociraptor that is smart enough to be a real problem solver, and she's the leader of the pack.
So, I don't know, real quick, I liked Muldoon, and I hated something about him all at the same time. I couldn't quite figure out what it was.
I wanted to hate him, but, everything that he did, I was like, this guy, knows what he's talking about.
For sure.
He, later, spoiler, sacrifices himself for Sattler. That was really cool. But I know what you mean. He was the type of character that, you wanted to hate, and I don't know why.
Right? So just, I don't want to call him cocky, but a little bit.
Confident.
Overly
confident.
But at the same time, dude knew his shit.
And in those positions, I think you have to be, because the animals can tell.
Yeah, he literally goes into a whole speech about how the whole reason they're feeding the raptors by dropping the cow in is because the raptors kept attacking the gate when it was feeding time. And he even goes in further to say that they never attacked the same place twice. They were testing the gate and the fence, which were electrified, for weaknesses.
Yep.
Man, maybe let's not breed raptors.
I mean, you live and you learn, right?
Telling us that they're learning how to problem solve. I don't know, man, maybe we don't.
Yeah.
Maybe we just don't. And talks about how the big one also killed a bunch of the other ones. Maybe don't breed more. Maybe
just leave it at that. Leave it at that.
But I mean, what do I know? I don't have an island of dinosaurs.
True, sadly.
All right, moving on. So over lunch, Hammond and the lawyer are both pretty excited about everything, although Hammond wants everyone to be able to enjoy the island, while the lawyer only wants money.
Yep.
The lawyer's talking about charging $2,000 for a day. Hammond says that everyone deserves the right to be able to come and see and hang out.
Right.
Which I respect.
Yeah, heck yeah.
It's very much not about the money. Malcolm is concerned about the danger in messing with the genetic power that they're wielding, which, fair.
Yeah.
He explains that they didn't work to learn anything and experience anything, so they're moving forward without knowledge, without having to take responsibility for anything.
That's the big thing he keeps harping on, is that they don't have to take responsibility for any of the decisions they make or anything.
Yeah. Hammond compares the dinosaur extinction to that of a condor. However, this gets Malcolm even more worked up as he states that dinosaurs had their shot and nature selected them for extinction, while the condors are dying as a result of deforestation.
Yep.
Hammond is hurt by this, especially when Sattler stepped in and said that some of the plants he'd chosen as decoration for the visitor center were venomous.
Right.
And he chose them because they're pretty.
Yep.
Hammond looks to Grant, hoping he'll be on his side, and he's very much, again, not on his side either. So at this point, someone comes in, whispers something in Hammond's ear. He stands up and just says, "They're here," which, I don't know, kind of ominous.
Could be really creepy, but the pure joy on his face was just beautiful.
Honestly, so we've seen this movie a million times. We know how it ends, but for some reason, every time he says "they're here," I always expect them to cart in raptors or something.
The main attraction.
They're here. Raptors for everyone.
So it's not raptors. It's actually his grandchildren, a young boy and his a little bit older sister. They load into some electric SUVs on a track, which I thought was pretty cool, and they head out into the park. The young boy, whose name is Tim, thinks of Grant as something of a hero. He's read his book and he's got a lot to talk about, and he seemed to be kind of picking apart everything that Grant said in it, which was cool. Hammond is speaking with the game warden. They're tracking a storm coming in. Samuel L. Jackson as John Ray Arnold says, "Hold on to your butts," and he sets the cars off on their tour. And I laughed really hard because when you see Sam, you just think he's always going to cuss. He's always going to be dirty, angry, whatever.
Always dropping the MF.
Yeah, and he was just "Hold on to your butts." So the SUVs start through the enclosures, and Grant and Sattler can be seen, much like Hammond's grandchildren, posted against the windows looking for the dinosaurs. They're super excited.
Understandable. Dinosaurs.
Right? The scene changes, and we see the large man with spectacles sitting behind some messy computers. He's arguing with Hammond and Arnold. Muldoon states that they are close to the T-Rex paddock.
Which, so he's not top dog. He's just a game warden. But I like when he tells everyone to be quiet. The whole room just shuts up.
Yeah, they're huh?
Everyone shut up. Muldoon's talking. So at this point, they're by the T-Rex paddock. And a goat is just... So, they've seen no dinosaurs at this point. Right. None of them have been up to the fence they're supposed
disappointed.
To. Yeah, super disappointed. So the truck stop at the T-Rex paddock. No T-Rex. So what do? Send this little cage up, right? And what's inside of it? A goat. What's the goat for? To bring the T-Rex to the fence. Yeah. Does it work? No. And Grant is not happy because he says the T-Rex doesn't want to be fed. It wants to hunt.
Much like the raptors.
Yeah, man. Malcolm spits some of his serious chaos theory, trying to teach Sattler. And she is way too fascinated by it. I can't tell if it was sincere or not.
No, it was 100% to try and get Grant to be jealous. Sattler only has eyes for Grant in this movie. Come on, man.
He tries the water on the hand trick. He's flirting annoyingly. Grant just gets out of the car.
Yes, man.
Followed by Sattler, and Malcolm just keeps sitting there and talking to himself, and even acknowledges that he's talking to himself.
I feel like he probably did that a lot in his life.
Oh, for sure. Hammond's not happy because they got out of the car. They don't get out of the car.
Right.
What was it? Muldoon's instantly PO'd saying, "Man, I told you we needed locking mechanisms on the doors."
Child locks on the doors,
Who doesn't put locks on car doors?
Listen, I don't know. In a dinosaur park.
In a dinosaur park.
I don't know.
Just saying, man. Horrible safety. The kids and the lawyer, despite being told to stay there, follow Grant, because why not? And that's when they stumble upon a sick Triceratops. Sattler approaches along with Timmy, and they're all clearly overwhelmed to be so close to a dinosaur. I mean, Grant straight up looked like a child on Christmas morning. Just so happy. Him and Sattler both. She starts crying tears of joy.
Understandable.
Yeah, so, like we said, Triceratops has a feeling a little crummy in the tummy. Sattler thinks that it's been eating some nearby toxic plants.
Scene change, and we're back in Command Central. The storm is coming in, so Arnold encourages everyone to pack up. They'll have to continue the tour another day, or so they think. Sattler doesn't find the poisonous plant in the Triceratops dung that she's searching through out in the field, and she's completely stumped at this point. Back in Central Command, Ned, the heavy-set spectacle man, hits something on his computer, and a pop-up comes up as the thunder strikes. Back out in the field, Sattler stays with the Triceratops while the rest of the crew heads back to the SUVs. Ned is panicking in front of his computers as he doesn't think he'll have enough time to do what he needs to do with the storm coming in. Before he leaves the room, he hits the execute button, saying the systems may go on and off. He times it perfectly as camera and door security systems go down, and he actually heads into the lab.
And he's going to steal embryos, isn't he?
He is.
What a jerk. I don't like this guy. I hate everything about him. Back in the cars, the control screen dies, and Malcolm asks Grant about Sattler, and the car stops. Ooh. In the control room, the fences are failing, which is exactly what you want to hear.
Yep.
You know, the electric fences keeping the dinosaurs in.
Perfect.
Yeah. This obviously causes Hammond and his team to panic, which is the appropriate response.
Yes.
Now, Ned, having grabbed those baby dinosaur embryos like a jerk, in that fancy shaving cream can.
Right.
Drives his Jeep through the gates that are all been shut off, while the command center team questions why he turned some of the fences off and left the raptor fences on, which thank God he left the raptor fences on. Arnold realizes that Ned had locked down the system, and at that time, Grant and Malcolm realize they are back at the T-Rex paddock where the goat is, or was.
Using the night vision goggles, Tim realizes tremors are causing cups of water to tremble. He sees that the goat is gone. What a twist.
What a twist.
Presumably taken by the Rex. And then we see her. The lawyer runs away into a conveniently placed bathroom.
Right, I feel like this was set up to intentionally... Well, obviously, the cars stop at the T-Rex paddock because, that was part of the ride. But, I don't know, man. Maybe not let people get out of the cars at any point in time during this. I don't care if there is a 10,000-volt electric fence there. Stay in the car.
And, if you're gonna let them out where there's just herbivores.
Not a T-Rex?
Herbivores. Yeah, whatever. With the electric fence down, the Rex just plows through that bad boy. Unsure of what to do, considering they've been left in the car on their own, Lex grabs a flashlight and she turns it on. Unfortunately, the T-Rex notices and goes towards their car. They try to turn off the flashlight but can't, as the Rex smashes the sunroof in. It then rolls the car over while Malcolm and Grant watch. Grant finds an emergency flare and runs out to distract the Rex. He throws a flare into the paddock. Malcolm runs in with a second flare to draw the Rex away from Grant and the kids.
So Malcolm, while sprinting away from a T-Rex, because that's what you do, dives into that conveniently placed bathroom, and everything just starts falling around him as the T-Rex comes barreling on through. Ironically enough, the one thing left standing is the toilet that the lawyer's sitting on.
Convenient.
When the roof caved in, it completely covered Malcolm, so he's safe and sound. Can't even see him. Don't even know he's there. But the Rex straight up eats the lawyer.
Yeah, baby.
Grabs him right off the toilet.
Yeah, baby.
So Grant skiddly bops on over to the car that the kids were in and gets Lex out of it because it's now upside down, sinking into mud. So he gets her out. But Tim's stuck in there because he turns around and the T-Rex is right there in his face, you know? So Grant uses a cable to kind of lower him and Lex down the side of the sheer cliff so the Rex can't see them, while the T-Rex then pushes the car off the cliff as well.
Yep.
Because I don't know. Good. I guess that's what T-Rexes do.
Not good. So back in the control room, Sattler has made it back safely. They're trying to figure out what Ned had done to the computer system. Hammond requests that the game warden take a gas jeep and bring back his grandchildren.
Yeah, man, you send the warden. The game warden.
Muldoon!
Which, lucky him.
Right?
Dude takes it all in stride. He's like, yeah, absolutely, I'll go get your kids. And, Sattler's goes with him because that's what she does. Yep, she's a team player.
That's what she does. My girl.
And then everyone's favorite guy to hate, Dennis Nedry, is we flash back to him now, and he straight up crashes a Jeep like a big old dummy. Crashed it right into a sign for the docks. So, at least he knows he's going the right way, I guess.
But he doesn't because the arrow moves.
Yeah. He's just a big old dummy.
Yep.
He even rehearsed this whole thing and yet still forgets how to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Like an idiot.
When it's dark and rainy, though, all bets are off, you know?
No. He's an idiot. At some point in time in this, he actually wrecks twice. Second time, he loses his glasses while he's trying to hook up the winch cable around a tree so he can pull the Jeep out of being stuck. So while he's doing that, we hear some weird noises, and you see a quick little flash of a wee little dinosaur drop behind him and takes off running. He's all like, what the hell was that?
Little compared to T-Rex. Not really little.
Roughly about the size of like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I would say that.
Which I also loved how it's clearly dinosaur noises. He peeks around the tree and says, hello?
Hello?
Like, yeah, the dinosaur's going to talk back.
Hello, sir.
It's a Dilophosaurus. You know, one of the ones with the cool, like, fan things around their heads. And they're all like,
and they
whoa.
spit.
So, yeah, he sees that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it has a mouthful of super sharp teeth, he just, for some reason, thinks he's safe.
He's dumb. He's just an idiot.
Like, just dicks with it. And, like, tries to get it to go fetch a stick.
A stick. It's not a dog.
And then tells it that when he gets the Jeep out, he's going to run it over. And walks back up. I hate him. So he climbs back up towards the Jeep, gets almost there and realizes the dinosaur's following him. Like, he turns around and it's, like, right there in his face.
And that's when it...
Yeah, that's when it, like, does the little frill fan thing out, and you have, like, a rattlesnake noise, and it starts screeching at him, and it spits at him, and he's all like, what the hell is this? Gets up, stumbles to the car, gets to the car, turns around one more time, because, I mean, you always look back, gets the... Okay, rude-ass guy on a motorcycle driving by.
At 9:48 p.m., don't you have better things to do,
sleeping.
Sir? You were getting a little out of control anyway,
I was not.
I'm kidding.
I don't know where I was, so I'm just going to go... So he turns around, looks one more time, because that's just something you always do.
Sure.
You always got to look back again. Gets spit right in his face. Keep in mind, this is acid spit, or like venom spit. I don't know. It's not good either way.
It's bad spit.
Yeah. Is there a good spit? So it starts burning the hell out of his eyes. He hits his head on the Jeep trying to get into it, stumbles in, trying to wipe away all the crap out of his eyes, closes the door. He thinks he's safe. He's not. Dinosaur's in there with him and eats him. Also, when he hit his head and fell, shaving cream can fell out of his coat pocket and just flowed down the mud river. So it's gone. Sure and did. Dinosaur ate him in the safety of his car. He dead. He's gone. I'm glad. I hated him. Dilophosaurus, the real MVP.
MVP, man. So Lex and Grant are on the ground while the SUV that Tim had been in is stuck up in a tree. Grant convinces Lex that he'll be back. She's obviously terrified. I get it.
Oh, for sure.
Grant just has to find a way to get Tim out of the tree, out of the car. So as Grant climbs up, he's calling for him. Tim isn't answering, but Grant finds him after climbing into the car, and it turns out that Tim is really embarrassed because he threw up. Poor little baby. Grant turns the steering wheel as he's trying to get Tim out of there, and that obviously causes the car's wheels to turn. As they discuss how to climb down, the SUV comes loose. They barely make it down the tree, hiding in the tree roots conveniently as the SUV drops on top of them.
Tim delivers that awesome line of, well, we're in the car again.
Yeah, I loved that.
Or something to that extent.
I laughed so hard, yeah.
All right, so Sattler and Muldoon. I don't know why I like saying his name.
Muldoon, because it's a good name, dude.
I wanted to hate the guy, but honestly, dude was a champ.
Muldoon.
And you know what? Not everyone has the legs to pull off those short shorts he was wearing.
So true.
Can we talk about how muscular that dude's thighs were?
Pure
Jesus.
muscle. I think his thighs were like bigger than two of my heads.
It's very, very intimidating.
Yeah.
So anyways, Muldoon and Sattler reach the T-Rex paddock and find the remains of the lawyer. Gross.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. They hear Malcolm kind of groaning in the rubble. They fish him out of there. And it looked like he had woken up, gave himself a tourniquet on the leg already, and passed back out.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused by that.
Yeah, who knows? So they, throw him in the Jeep, because that's what you do. Sattler realizes the group had, gone over the cliff, and she climbs down. But Grant and the kid's already gone. She sees some footprints, though, so she knows they're safe.
Yep, they're alive.
They're alive. Yeah, they're alive, not necessarily safe. Malcolm sees some water over in a conveniently placed T-Rex footprint and starts kind of doing that rumble tremor thing, and he realizes the Rex is coming back, so we gotta go. He starts yelling for Muldoon and Sattler to let's go, get in the car, let's go, go, go. And right as they get there, the T-Rex comes bashing through the trees like, what's up, I'm here.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, so it starts chasing after them, trying to eat them, starts kind of doing a little tippity-tap on the side of the car. Malcolm trying to get away, climbs forward and falls on the gear shift for the car, so now they're stuck in a low gear and can't get away, and Muldoon's yelling at him. It's a very stressful scenario.
I can tell you were stressed out when rewatching.
I was so stressed. But anyways, he's able to start shifting the gears again, picks up some speed, starts going fast in the Rex, and the Rex just gives up because it's a quitter.
No, she's not. Don't say bad things about Rexy.
You're right. She does save the day later.
A spoiler. Anyways, somewhere off in the woods there, the kids listen as the Rex roars. Grant hurries them along into a tree to hide. They haven't had good luck in trees. I don't know why they're going back up in the tree, but whatever.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
So while they're up there, they listen to some Brachiosaurus singing, and Grant sings along, which is funny, but also really genuine and sweet of Grant.
I mean, look, you have the chance to sing karaoke with a Brachiosaurus. Do you take it? The answer is absolutely.
Oh, you 100% take it. And those dinosaurs, they turn to him.
Oh, yeah.
So Grant...
One of us. He knows our song.
Grant settles down against the tree, and the kids snuggle into him to get some rest. It's all very touching.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Scene change. Back to the gift shop. Hammond is clearly stressed out and is stress eating at this point, which...
Dude, same.
I respect. Sadler watches, he's trying to eat, and he's gotten all the ice cream out because it's going to melt anyways.
Yeah.
Hammond admits his worry, saying that at least the children are with Grant. He says that he had wanted to give people something they could see and touch, something real. Hence the park.
Good one, babe.
Thank you. He talks about next time will be better, next time will be flawless, next time will be perfect, and Sadler just starts rolling her eyes so aggressively you think her eyes are going to pop out of her head.
Same, girl.
Yeah, same. She calls him out, saying that neither of them had enough respect for the power that they were using on the island. And then she grabs a spoon and starts digging into the ice cream. Respect.
Heck yeah. So back up in that tree, Grant has broken his promise that he made to the kids not to sleep. He's definitely passed out, but understandable. It's okay though, the only dinosaur close to them is a Brachiosaurus, there to enjoy the foliage in the tree. Grant feeds her like the child that he is.
Oh, he was so excited too.
And just as Lex reaches out to it, it rears back and sneezes on her.
It's you've been having such a real bad day, and then a dinosaur just sneezes on you.
Lex is having a rough time out here.
God, it's just one kick in the dick after another.
Well, she's a girl, so no. But anyways, they climb down the tree and continue walking until Grant stumbles upon what was supposed to be impossible. Dino eggies.
But wait, I thought they couldn't breed in the wild.
The scientists said they used frog DNA to fill in the genetic code.
Of course they did.
And Grant tells us that some West African frogs have been known to change sex from male to female or female to male in a single-sex environment. As Malcolm thought, life found a way.
Life finds a way. So back in Command Central, Hammond is recommending that they shut down the entire system. Mm-hmm. He assumes the entire system will restart as normal if they do so, and get rid of all of Ned's bullshit. But they aren't sure. But in the end, they think it's their best hope, and they go for it. To the guy who's revving his motorcycle out my window.
Seriously.
It is 10 o'clock at night, and it sounds like garbage.
I'm embarrassed for him.
He assumes the entire system will restart as normal if they do so and get rid of all of Ned's bullshit. But they're not sure. It's a gamble either way. But in the end, they think it's their best hope, so they go for it. Yep. They mention a lysine. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Lysine?
Lysine?
A lysine deficiency built into the dino's DNA as a backup. If they aren't supplied with lysine, they will become comatose and die.
Poor babies.
It was a bit of a fail-safe in case any of the dinosaurs ever managed to get off the island.
Yep.
So they shut down the system, power goes out, and before flipping it back on, we again hear Arnold, Ray, whatever you want to call him, his Jurassic Park line of, hold on to your butts. They think it worked, because one of the computers is saying, system ready or whatever.
Yep.
But the power's not coming on, they need to flip a circuit breaker across. That's, across the way at the other side of the compound.
Convenient, right?
Convenient.
It's what you do.
Hammond recommends they hide in the bunker to be safe, and Ray skiddly bops them over there to go and flip a breaker and restore power.
Yep. Grant and the kids are caught in the middle of a stampede out in an open field. When they see what the dinosaurs were running from, they realize they're in big trouble. It's our girl, Rexy. Back in the bunker, Sattler is getting antsy. It should have been a 3-minute trip to the circuit breakers, and it's been much, much longer. She heads out with Muldoon, locked and loaded.
Dude's got a shotgun. I'll roll with him anywhere.
Hammond makes this weird comment about how he should go instead of Sattler because he's and you're which rightfully pisses Sattler off.
Hell yeah, girl.
Sattler goes out with Muldoon, realizing the raptors had actually broken out of their cage. They can
Terrifying.
Right? They can see the shed they need to get to, but the raptors have also seen them. Muldoon takes one for the team. Like I said, you can't hate this guy. And he kind of goes out into the forest where he saw one of the raptors and gives Sattler the opportunity to run to the shed. She makes it, but Mr. Arnold,
he dead.
He gone.
Grant and the kids make it to the edge of the paddock and an electric fence. Convenient. He once again plays a horrible trick on the kids. He threw a stick at it, so he knows that it's not turned on, right? Kids don't know it. He walks up, grabs it, and starts like yelling, screaming like he's in pain, pretending that he's being electrocuted. Kids freak out. He laughs. Dick move, but hilarious.
It's just Grant, man of my heart.
I think we can all relate to it.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta break tension somehow, man.
Yeah, they're really stressed out. He's just trying to get him to laugh.
Yeah, by thinking he's dying.
No, they laugh when they realize he's not.
Well, Tim does. Lex is not amused.
Lex is not happy.
Which, to be fair, she also did just get previously sneezed on by a dinosaur. I think she's at the end of her rope.
Yeah, she's
had enough of this island. So at this point, they start, climbing up the fence.
Yep.
Sattler is following Malcolm and Hammond's instructions down in this bunker that has the circuit breakers in it, and she finally makes it to the box.
Yep.
Grant and the kids are trying to make it back down the other side of the fence as Hammond explains how Sattler needs to prime the system before she can flip the breaker. She pushes it. Tim's still on the fence. Alarm's going off saying the fence is about to turn back on because Sattler's turning the power back on.
Yep.
So Sattler's making her way down the list, turning all the systems on. Conveniently enough, the perimeter fence where they're at is at the bottom of the list. So she's going down one by one, and dramatic tension builds. It's getting suspenseful. There's some music playing, it's really building the scene, and Tim gets shocked right off the fence.
Sure does. Grant catches him, but he's not breathing. Back in the shed, a raptor comes out of nowhere behind Sattler. Obviously, understandably, she freaks out, and she backs up into another door or a wall or something, and all of a sudden, a hand comes down and falls on her. Mr. Arnold.
Yeah, he gone. Raptor got him.
For sure gone. After she runs, after having that arm fall on her, she eventually gets out of the shed, but then she's hurt, she's limping pretty good. Can she make it back?
Who knows? So much suspense. The warden is still going after the raptor that he's been hunting, but it's too late. He realizes that while he's been focusing on this raptor, got the gun all locked and loaded, ready to take the shot, the other raptor that he didn't see has now snuck up right beside him. He looks over, delivers the famous line of, "Clever girl," and that thing just lunges at him and wrecks his day. Just how Grant said it would happen when he was scaring the hell out of that little boy at the beginning of it.
Yep, he was not wrong.
No, he was exactly correct. So at this point in time, Grant performed CPR and got Tim breathing again. Good job, Grant. And him and the kids make it back to the main building.
Yep.
Tim and Lex get some food as Grant goes out and calls for Sattler. He has no idea that the raptors are out, but she makes it to him and lets him know. And they have a nice touching hug right there on the front lawn as she's just limping her ass over there.
After he's been screaming and not screaming, but yelling and drawing so much attention to them, and she's terrified and she's limping and
she just yells at him to run at one point in time.
Yeah, it's still touching. It's a beautiful moment, but it's just kind of
So back inside, while Tim and Lex are eating, Lex sees something behind her brother. It's a shadow on the wall. It's the shadow of a raptor. So they hide in the kitchen. Makes sense. When Grant asks if only the 2 raptors are out, Sattler makes a joke and says the 3rd is contained unless they figure out how to open doors.
And then it opens the door.
Yup.
Back in the kitchen, the kids are horrified when 2 raptors come in. They work their way around the kitchen, doing their best to remain quiet. I won't say silent, because Tim keeps, like, bumping his head off of a flimsy...
It's like, bro, situational awareness, man. Look around.
Oh, they try to remain quiet, and they try to keep away from the raptors. Lex, best big sister, makes some noise to distract them from her brother. Seriously, I was so proud of her in that moment. Tim makes a break for it, hobbling into the freezer and tricking one raptor to follow him in. He makes it back out, and him and Lex lock the raptor in there and make it back out to Sattler and Grant.
And Grant now has a shotgun, so now he's ready to rock. Just saying.
Is he?
He doesn't strike me as the firearm type.
And the shotgun gets jammed anyways.
Yeah, he gets 3 rounds off, though, before it jams.
He does. He at least uses it.
He does use it.
I'm proud.
So in the control room, Sattler is attempting to reboot the system. Grant tells her that she's got to get the locks, and he kind of stands upright and looks over, and there's a raptor right in the window staring at him. Shelby, he's staring at him.
I know.
She's staring at him. Sorry, girl
she.
raptor. Unless this is the one that made
maybe
the switch
that's
to the
boy.
Yeah,
maybe that's
who
a boy.
knows?
We don't know.
Everything's up in the air now.
I mean, everything's up in the air anyways.
And then he looks down and realizes the raptor knows how to work a door handle because they're problem solvers. Why did we breed raptors?
Idiots.
Lex, the top hacker, gets on the computer system and turns on the security system in the visitor center and gets the locks working. Also, can I just say real quick, so Lex and Tim were able to shut the door on a raptor in the freezer. Granted, the floor is slippery, I'll give them that. But they were able to push a raptor back in the freezer and lock the door. But it takes both Grant and Sattler, who have like 2 feet on both these kids and a lot more weight, all of their weight just to hold this door shut.
Isn't that raptor either the one that got bonked in their head or it smacked its head when it ran in after Tim, though?
No, that was the different one. The one that hit its head was the one later. Actually, no, yeah, you're right. This is the one that hit its head.
I'm just wondering if it wasn't all aware of what was going on, and that's why they were able to, like, real quick. Punk.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, that was the other one. So yeah, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. I'm gonna say that the raptor was slipping on the cold, icy floor.
It was really wet. Tim slipped on it.
Yeah. But any hoozles. So once Lex gets everything turned back on, they call down to Hammond, and he tells them they've got a helicopter en route, and they call down to Hammond, and he tells them they've got to get a helicopter en route immediately. We got to go.
Why was one not just like hovering always, just in case? You know what I mean?
A helicopter feels expensive. But
yeah,
granted,
he spared no expense.
Yeah, he's told us that 800 times throughout the film.
No
Always
expense.
Just spared no expense. Spared no expense. Oh, this ice cream's really good. Spared no expense. We got the good stuff. I don't know, man. Why wasn't the helicopter just there on the island? You know, like let the pilot come in and hang out.
Because he probably would have gotten killed too.
That's true. And now the helicopter's useless.
Yeah, then we would have had to have like Grant trying to fly it, and we all know that wouldn't have ended well. So.
They would have died.
Yeah, for sure.
Immediately. So the raptors are coming through the glass, and Grant's shotgun now jams. Mm-hmm. Fires off a few rounds, gun jams. So what do? They climb up into the rafters, which I mean, smart. So they skilly bop through the rafters, through the vent system, and they come back out into the main room, and they drop down on the fossils that are hanging from the ceiling, right as the raptor comes after them. Because it was up on the ledge conveniently enough. So now they're all hanging from fossils, which, I don't know, sounds like a cool time.
Till they start falling.
Yeah. And then Tim, just like the car, has something almost fall on him. It's the rib cage from, what was it, a T-Rex fossil, but luckily it just stops around him, and he's kind of just caged in a rib cage, which is ironic. But they're surrounded by raptors at this point, which is not a groovy time.
Yep, it doesn't look good, but that's when our girl comes in. Rexy for the win.
Yeah. Right as the raptor's about to just eat his face, T-Rex comes in and eats the raptor. It was so cool.
And, like, the raptors in this one, they, like, jump on her and stuff, but she's just like, nah, bro. Nah.
Fun spoiler fact. The Jurassic World, that's the same T-Rex. This is the T-Rex in that. It has all the scars from this raptor attack.
That's why I love Rexy so much.
She just, like, through 2 different, like, generation movies, she's just the MVP of the day.
She's forever the MVP.
You're right. T-Rex for MVP. So at this point in time, T-Rex is eating one raptor, fighting the other raptor, eats second raptor. Hammond pulls up in a Jeep out front with Malcolm in the back, and they all jump in as Grant jokingly tells Hammond that he has decided to not endorse the park.
Yep,
Hammond
fair.
says, yeah, me too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And epic T-Rex roar moment.
Yeah, the sign, like, falls down around her, the banner.
Yeah, it's like when dinosaurs roamed or something like that.
Yeah, and she just... Oh,
yeah.
It's just so good.
Perfect.
And then the InGen helicopter is there to pick them up. On the ride home, the children cuddle into Grant again, and Sattler shares a cute little smile with him. They look out the window. It's glorious. And that's it, folks.
Awesome movie.
Now, I don't know about you, Bri. We're going to get into this retcon, but I once again had a really hard time with figuring out what I would want to retcon on this movie. I really love it. I think watching it when I was a kid has made it feel awesome and nostalgic, regardless of the... sometimes what other people anyways would consider clunky dialogue and what a lot of critics said was underdeveloped characterization. I thought each character was a perfect representation of who they were supposed to be in the movie, and I liked it that way. I thought it was awesome. If I had to change one thing, and this is probably pretty lame, but there are no Stegosaurus in the movie, and that makes me sad. I want to see a Stegosaurus.
They have the embryos for him.
Yeah.
We saw Ned steal one.
So why didn't we see one? Even just the spikes, if we could just see, or what would you call those, shields on their back?
Sure.
If we could just see those, you know?
Just like a silhouette on a hillside.
Or just them peeking out over some grass somewhere. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, man.
Come on. And also, what about the Triceratops? Is she okay?
You know what? Never thought of that. I need to know.
Retcon. Triceratops. I need to know if she's okay. Somebody figure out and tell me.
Did it pull through?
That's all I've got, though. What about you?
I also had a really hard time thinking of something I would change in retcon in this. Just it's a feel-good, nostalgic movie for me. I mean, what kid doesn't grow up dreaming about getting to see a dinosaur in real life?
Dinosaurs, man.
That being said, it took me like 2 days to come up with something I would change in this movie, and that would be to show more of the island. They had this massive, massive island, right? I'm making it sound huge. It's a pretty big island, right? But really flesh out some of the other areas. Show some of the other dinosaurs. Like when all the systems were going down, it was showing all the fences being shut off. It showed each of the paddocks and all the dinosaurs they had in there. And I'm pretty sure there's a Stegosaurus paddock, which means that they've actually bred them at this point.
Oh, and we just didn't get to see them?
Yeah, like, I understand you're kind of... I mean, the movie's already 2 hours long, and you're kind of on a time frame here, but
Make it 2.5.
Make it 2.5 and show me the other dinosaurs.
Jeez Louise.
But, like, that's really it for me. Like, the only thing I would change is just have more dinosaurs in it. Just really show me all the things that they've created.
Sure.
Show me the park.
Well, yeah, and it'd be cool to see... I've always been interested in knowing, like, which dinosaurs are in which kind of habitats. Mm-hmm. Like, which ones, obviously, like, Brachiosaurus have to have, like, the tall trees that they eat off of and stuff. But, like, what kind of area would a Stegosaurus have lived in?
And, to go off that, too, back in the scene where Grant, Sattler, and Malcolm, and Hammond, and the lawyer are all sitting there talking, and everyone's kind of just telling Hammond how terrible an idea this is.
Right.
And, Sattler tells them, they're venomous plants here for decoration. You picked them because they're pretty. She also comments on, like, these ecosystems have been extinct for millions of years. Right. How do you think you can recreate and control these environments?
Sure.
Show me how they are trying to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and obviously they have no idea what they're doing. They put... I can't remember what it was, but whatever that toxic plant is in the Triceratops enclosure.
Yeah, that she thought was what was making it sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, show me the other dinosaur paddocks. Show me how you've created the environments that you think are ideal for these dinosaurs. Yep. I really want to see that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And honestly, that's the only thing I would change. Yep. The rest of it, I love the movie. Like, I mean, I don't like the character of Malcolm necessarily, just because he's so intense. But like
Really?
He's perfect for that role, though.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not saying get rid of him. He needs to be there exactly as he is.
I gotcha.
It works so well for every scenario he's in. Even just the way he walks and carries himself. Like he walks up to the pile of Triceratops crap and like just has a shirt
partially unbuttoned.
Basically, like, halfway open. He's just, like, leaning to one hip. Like, everything about how he acts is perfect. I just would hate to meet him in real life.
I was going to say, so he's the type of person that, like, if you met him in real life, you would not talk to him. You would just avoid him.
Yes.
I totally,
But in this movie, perfect. All the characters were perfect.
Yeah, they were exactly them.
This movie.
Yes, same.
And it made me feel good in my child heart.
I want to watch it again.
Absolutely. Well, we own it, so
we do.
We can do that.
This is true.
All right, so with that being said, we bringing this thing to a close.
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
No, sir. I love dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Thanks for letting us talk about this, even though we didn't really have that much to retcon. It was a lot of fun to get to watch it and then talk about it.
Well, you know what, man? Not every episode will have a multi-part retcon or even a retcon at all. Sometimes we just really want to talk about how much we love a movie.
And we just really love dinosaurs.
Yeah, man. Jurassic Park for the win.
Always.
All day, every day. Every day. All right, so let's put this baby to bed.
Yep.
Shelby, thank you for hanging out with me. I know we live here and you're stuck with me, but thanks for sitting down this close to me to record this episode.
While you've been burping in my face.
I will not apologize. You knew what you were getting into when you married me.
Yep, this is true.
So, folks, thanks for listening to Shelby and I break down Jurassic Park. We had a blast. We forgot just how much we loved this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
You're welcome to check us out on Twitter at Retcon Air, and we do a lot of work on Facebook at facebook.com/Retcon Air. You can check us out there, give us a follow, subscribe or whatever.
Whatever you do on all the things, just do them.
Leave us a comment, leave us a review. That would be super cool, actually.
Yeah, leave us some reviews and, like, talk to us, you know? We'd love to have conversations, too, so...
Yeah, man.
Reach out to us.
Let us know if you like the show.
Or if you don't, tell us. It's fine.
But yeah, tell us if you like the show.
Yeah, like, you're wrong if you don't like it, but, like, tell us anyways.
All right, well, thanks everyone for listening. We had a blast. We hope you enjoyed listening to this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye.